Tyrese Halliburton is a superstar.
He would be the best number 3 in the league.
NFL, you've got Thanksgiving. Leave Christmas alone.
I got George Pickens in my top 7 right now.
Big swings, every shot, every dribble, first down, slam dunk. We track the whole scramble. Late game pressure, you know the whole handle. Stats in the notebook. Heat in the discussion when the crowd get loud. We cut through the rushing on your mark, let it go. This is where the big moments show. Back and forth, running back. Game Sports, we on the track.
Welcome back to Game Break Sports, everyone, where every play has a story, and that story starts here. I'm here joined again by Shep. How you doing tonight, Shep?
I'm doing great, man. Football started last week, so man, I'm all smiles.
Man, it was so good to get a taste of that this weekend. It was so nice, man. I loved it. We're actually going to start in football in the NFL today. This has been a heavy topic that we've been talking about recently. There's obviously a lot of wide receivers. There's a lot of wide receiver rooms in the NFL. My question to you is, who are the top 5 wide receiver rooms heading into 2026?
So I'm just going to run through my list from 5 to 1, and then we'll kind of discuss what I thought about these 5. So number 5, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, wow.
I did a little bit of thinking about that. I know I might be a little biased, but I got reason for it. Number 4, I have the Los Angeles Rams. Obviously, they have Puka Nacua and Devontae, 2 of the best in their era. Number 3, I have at the Cincinnati Bengals. That goes without saying. Number 2, I have the Minnesota Vikings. Number 1, I have the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow, there's a lot to dissect there. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to let you explain yourself a little bit before I start saying literally anything.
So number 5, like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love the addition of Jeremy Bernard in the draft. That's what solidified it for me. I know it was the preseason, but that guy looked like he could kill in the slot, and that's what the Steelers really needed. If you watch the Steelers in years past, they've been missing that guy that could just be in the right zones, kill in the open field, kill in the middle of the field. Jeremy Bernard showed on Thursday that he could be the guy that could get open. He could beat press coverage. He can beat one-on-one coverage. And we have 2 freaking stallion horses on the side. Like on the outside, we got Michael Pittman. He's 6'4". We got DK Metcalf, who's 6'4". Both 220 pounds plus. I love that addition. Like I said, with Jeremy Bernard, obviously we got Michael Pittman in a trade earlier this year. I just like what that looks like. What's your thoughts?
Shep, how can they be top 5 when they don't even have a top 15 receiver?
It's by committee, bro. It's by committee.
Metcalf isn't top 15. He's top 20, I would say, probably. But then I know Pittman is a good addition. Obviously, I'm a Colts fan, so I watch Pittman, and all respect to Pittman. But he's not a wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 2. I've said that for years. He's going to be an amazing wide receiver 2 for you guys. But at the end of the day, he is a wide receiver 2.
Yes.
So there's a lot of other... I don't know. There's a lot of other wide receiver rooms out there that I think may be more deserving of this spot, just because they do have a top 10 receiver with a very, very complimentary piece.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like I said, I might be a little biased there, but the reason I say it is because we got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has 2 big bodies to throw the ball to on the outside. He has guys that can win now with Jeremy Bernard. Roman Wilson has been looking good in training camp. So he has a few guys. We saw a guy, his last name was, I think, Weekend last week.
Mm-hmm.
The slot.
He's got speed.
Who took 15-yard or 10-yard slant almost to the crib. So that'll translate to the regular season. So I'm happy with what that receiver group looks like now. This has been the best receiver group since probably AB and Juju Smith-Schuster.
So, all right, we'll move past the Steelers because at number 5, sure. I'll just give you that. That's biased for sure, but I'll just give you that. We're talking. No, I'm not even gonna mention 4, because I've like Rams at 4. I can see that, right? Okay. What I can't see is the Bengals being at 3 at all, and I can't see the Vikings being ahead of the Bengals at all. Because the only wide receiver match that I feel like is better is going to be Juwan Jennings over um
Can't even think of the
I
guy.
can't
He's so bad.
Andre no, I know I always forget his name because it's weird. Iosovas. Andre Iosovas. That's the only one. We're taking Jamar Chase definitely over Justin Jefferson when Joe Burrow's healthy, and we're just considering Joe Burrow healthy because he's healthy right now, right?
Oh
Uh,
wow, I like how you just came to that conclusion with a guy that's never healthy. He's hurt every freaking half year.
well, he's
Okay,
healthy
go
right
ahead.
now, all right. So
Go ahead
Jamar
and
Chase
continue.
in seasons where Joe Burrow is healthy is by far the best receiver in the NFL, no doubt about it.
That's just bias, bro.
No,
By
biased.
far,
I'm not a Bengals fan,
by far, he's not by far better than Justice Jefferson.
dude. I
That's
really think that
blasphemy.
what he showed me, he's crazy talented. Anyway, T Higgins is also better than Jordan Addison by quite
I
a bit
agree.
because he's a number one wide receiver on a lot of different teams. So real quick, I'll go through my list. Okay, at number
Okay.
5, I've got the Lions. They've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, and they've got Jamison Williams, who in the last 2 years has had 1,000-yard seasons as a wide receiver too, both years. And they're the most consistent wide receiver duo in the entire league. Not to mention that at number 3, they've got a guy named Isaac Tesla, and he's going to have a breakout season as far as a wide receiver 3 goes. I'm talking 500, 600 yards. I could definitely see it. Also, a very, very good red zone threat. So that's why I put them there. I definitely think they're more deserving than the Steelers. There was a little bias there for you. That's okay. At number 4, I have the Vikings there. And I will say the Vikings do have a really, really good receiver room. But one way that I looked at this was if a team has 2 wide receiver ones on it, I'm going to put them above every single time. And that's why number 3, I have the Rams, which I consider the wide receiver ones there. Puka's obviously the wide receiver 1, but Devontae Adams could be a wide receiver 1. I've got the Cowboys at 2 with CD and George Pickens being the best wide receiver duo in the entire NFL, I would say. Both top 10 by far, or absolutely. And then number 1, I do have the Bengals because I consider T Higgins 100% a top or number 1 wide receiver on, I think it's 15 to 20 different teams. I've gotten them all written down here. I could see him being a number 1 receiver at any of these teams: the Bills, Dolphins, Browns, Ravens, Jaguars, Titans, Colts, Chargers, Raiders, Packers, Buccaneers, Panthers, Cardinals, 49ers. And the teams that I think he could even fight for a number 1 spot would be the Eagles, Commanders, Broncos, and the Bears.
Dude, first of all, he's not better than Terry McLaurin. Stop that.
I don't know. I don't know if he is or not. We've never
Hold
seen
on,
him
let me
as a
talk
number
about your
1.
list real quick, because you want to eat up my Steelers. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna use your own context against you, your own thoughts. How can you have the Bengals above the Cowboys when George Pickens is better than T. Higgins?
Because they have the number 1 overall. The Cowboys don't have a top 5 receiver. CD falls right outside of there. I got CD at number 6, and I've got George Pickens at number 9.
Give me the 8 receivers you have above George Pickens.
The 8 receivers that I have above George Pickens,
Yes.
we got Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua. Then we've got Amon-Ra St. Brown and JSN.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm taking George Pickens over Amon-Ra.
No, he's got one
going,
season. He's got one season. You can't do that. Do you know what Amon-Ra's stats are the last 3 years? He's the most consistent. He's the most consistent wide receiver in the NFL, man.
He's very consistent. He's a slot merchant, though. Keep going.
I've got CD at number 6.
Okay.
Man, I had the whole list in front of me just a minute ago, and I don't have it all. Either way,
so you got him at 9. So I got George Pickens in my top 7 right now. Coming off of last year, a guy that had almost 1,500 yards receiving, another guy that had 1,000 but missed multiple games last year. I'm comfortably taking George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb as a duo over. We've never seen T. Higgins be a number 1. You're just assuming he's a number 1 based on what he's doing with Jamar. But let me keep it real with you. Everybody gonna look like a number 1 with Jamar Chase. He demands double teams.
but we've seen T. Higgins without Jamar Chase ball out.
We see. I'm glad you brought that up. We see George Pickens without CeeDee Lamb, and who looked better, T. Higgins or George Pickens?
Absolutely. No,
And then their number 3 is Flournoy, and then
so
Yusufovich. Is that what you said?
Isilvus. Isilvus.
See, I don't care
So
if you say
the
this right.
reason
You're
is
not
not
even
because
good.
the reason is not because T. Higgins compares to George Pickens. That's not what I said at all. George Pickens is way better than T. Higgins. But I didn't say that. What I said was that Jamar Chase is the number 1 receiver in the NFL, and CD falls outside of the top 5, and that is the difference here for me.
So you would take wide receiver 1 and possibly 20 over 6 and 9.
Yeah, I would put T. Higgins in the top 20, and I think that's good enough in order to take that because Jamar Chase, I think, is that far ahead of CD Lamb. As far as the wide receiver room goes, but also I do think that I have a Sovas. Oh my gosh, clip that. I, I think that Sovas is underrated. I do think that he is a reliable guy when they need him based off of what I've seen from him. So I do think that's a good third option. Flournoy is good, but he needs to take a little step up. I know that their numbers are similar.
Yeah, I was gonna say he looked better last year than ISO was, or however you say that.
Yeah. But I'm not here to argue that the Cowboys aren't one of the best in the league. Honestly, the Cowboys could be possibly number 1 the more that I thought about it. Absolutely. I just think as of right now, because of Jamar Chase and who he is, I'm putting him in number 1. But the Vikings, I just can't put above those 3 teams with those wide receivers on there. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. With your like baseline with the 2 number 1s, I can see why you chose those 3. I love the addition of Jawan Jennings on the Vikings, though. I think as a number 3, he would be the best number 3 in the league.
That's what I actually had here. He's the best wide receiver 3 in the league, 100%. And that's the one thing the Vikings have for them.
Yeah, for sure. Like they can interchange, like you said, injuries happen. Jawan Jennings can step in any one of those roles and still produce. We saw him do it with the 49ers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But the years that he did get those good numbers with the 49ers, that was because players were injured. You had a year where Debo was injured and Ayuk was injured, so he was forced to be the number 1 there essentially. I know very well because he ended up winning me a couple weeks in fantasy. Thank you, Juwan Jennings. I appreciate you. But as being a wide receiver 3, those numbers that he got where he was at 1,000 yards, 900 yards, they are going to go down. And that's totally fine because he just has to be a complementary piece now, which is nice. They obviously have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. It's a great wide receiver trio that they have there. But Justin Jefferson right now for me falls at 4 because Jamar Chase and Puka are unreal. Based on the numbers that they've put up in the last few years. And again, Jamar Chase is depending on who that quarterback is, but honestly, even with Joe Flacco being the backup, I saw Jamar Chase kind of act like himself again when Joe Flacco was the backup. He just can't have Jake Browning throwing him the ball.
Compared Jake Browning to what the heck Justin Jefferson had all year last year.
No, I would say JJ McCarthy was better. If we're being honest, JJ McCarthy compared to Jake Browning, I would say that Jake Browning had no shining moments, period. JJ McCarthy had a few games where you were like, maybe he has some potential, and that's at least a little bit better.
Respect.
Jake Browning was getting Jamar Chase, the best wide receiver in the league, about 4 fantasy points every week. It was crazy. And people drafted him number 1 last year. Insane. They were disappointed.
Well, it doesn't help that like the Bengals team as a whole is just bad. So when they can't get Jamar Chase the ball, they look like the worst team in the league.
Exactly. 100% agree.
Speaking of wide receivers, we saw a veteran wide receiver get signed yesterday.
Yeah, baby.
With Keenan Allen going to the Indianapolis Colts. I see you're excited about that.
Absolutely.
We saw another receiver get signed, Stephon Diggs to the Commanders. This is a little earlier this week or last week. And then we also saw Von Miller go to the Cowboys. So what's your thoughts on those vets signing and what do you think they will do for their teams?
If I'm being completely honest with you, I think that all of these signings are phenomenal for every single team. Like it was really, really It was great decisions by all these organizations to bring a guy in. I think Stephon Diggs is exactly what the Commanders needed at wide receiver 2. He's an upgrade from Debo Samuel there at wide receiver 2, and also he doesn't play wide receiver running back, and they've got a guy over there in Washington, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, that I think if they give him a little bit more time being the primary running back, he's going to take off. Like, he can be a really good running back. So I think it's like addition by subtraction a little bit, but at the same time, addition by addition with him being such a good wide receiver 2. I mean, he was a wide receiver 1 in New England just last year, and New England made it to the Super Bowl. He was a huge part in that.
Sure. Yeah.
Great weapon for Jaden Daniels as well. They needed to get him some more help, and Terry McLaurin's not going to be able to be double teamed as much too. So that's great. Von Miller to the Cowboys. I do like this a lot too. I think that the Cowboys already had a decent pass rush. I think they were 9th last year in the league. But this is definitely going to help too, and it gives them a little bit more of a veteran presence as well, which is going to be good. The best move that I'm going to say that I like the most is Keenan Allen to Indy. The reason why, did you know that Shane Steichen was an offensive assistant and an offensive coordinator for the LA Chargers between the years of 2014 and 2020? So Keenan Allen already knows what a Steichen offense looks like. That is huge. Not to mention that, I mean, we've got young receivers. We've got Alec Pierce going into his 4th year, and we've got Josh Downs going into his 3rd. So these guys definitely need some mentorship, because Pittman, I believe, I think he's in his 6th.
7th or, yeah.
7th. Okay, I got you. Something like that, which that's good, but like they kind of grew up together a little bit. Keenan Allen's obviously been in the league for, 15 plus years now? Something crazy. He's older for sure, but he's going to be a great mentor for some of these younger guys. But he's not a mentor that's just going to sit back and like let them get all the work, because he's going to be a key guy that Daniel Jones can go to in some of the crucial moments. And also, we just needed another wide receiver with the injury rumors between both Alec Pierce and Josh Downs. We didn't need Ashton Doolin being number 1, being wide receiver 1 going into week 1, man. I'm not going to let that happen. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think all 3 additions were additions that each team needed. I love the addition with Stephon Diggs. I think a lot of people think he is washed. I know he went on a podcast, or he was on a press conference maybe a couple weeks ago or maybe a month ago now. He said, name a number 2 that's better than me. Although I think there are some number 2s better than him, like we named earlier, George Pickens, T. Higgins. He had a valid point. There's not many number 2s that you could take over Stephon Diggs at this time. So I think that with adding him, like you said, Terry McLaurin can get a little bit more one-on-ones that will allow Jaden Daniels to be able to pick and choose versus him just dialed into that one guy. So I like that addition for them. It just adds another weapon for Jaden Daniels to work with. As long as they can all stay healthy, they could be a pretty good duo out there. As far as my favorite, though, I'm gonna be honest with you, I like the addition with Von Miller to the Cowboys. The reason being, if you don't, like you said, they had a pretty good pass rush last year with Jadeveon Clowney. Von Miller is a different level. I'm gonna be real with you. You know who's an active leader in sacks right now? Von Miller.
Yeah.
He has 138 and a half career sacks. Yeah, I know he's played longer than, the Myles Garrett and all of those guys. And sure, Myles Garrett would pass him. But Von Miller is one of the best ever. One of the best pass rushers ever. He's coming off a season where he had 9 sacks. So
which is it. It's crazy that he's staying at that. Yeah, for his age and everything like that, it is impressive for sure.
They have Quinnen Williams. They just signed to a contract. Kenny Clark, they still have from the Green Bay Packers. Rashawn Gary, a lot of people forgot about him from Green Bay. He killed last year too. So you're going to add another guy like Von Miller. You got 4 really good pass rushers right there. Demarion Overshown is, as long as he can stay healthy, he can be a really good linebacker. So their front 7 might be top 10.
I think it would be 100%.
Yeah,
And that's one of the
they
reasons I really liked this too. Like I love this question with all three of these veterans and who's the best because I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer here, but I did think Von Miller was number two for me.
yeah,
Because to be honest, the main problem for the Cowboys last year wasn't really the pass rush. Like I said before, they were ranked ninth. That's not bad. They were dead last in passing defense.
yeah.
So they obviously covered that already by signing Kobe Durant at corner, and then they did draft Caleb Downs, obviously, who's expected to be crazy good. So just getting another veteran in there that's going to be able to like kind of show these guys, like what it takes to win a Super Bowl.
For
That's
sure.
what they needed for sure. And obviously we already know that offense is stacked. So if the defense can even be middle of the league, this Cowboys team could make a run.
Yeah, I agree with you. They have all the pieces, like you said. Their pass defense is where they're going to need the most work at. Deron Bland got $100 million contract, so he needs to just show up. Uh, their last really quote unquote lockdown or number one corner was Trayvon Diggs, and even he was getting targeted a lot when he was there. So if they could get a guy out there that could hold his own, have Caleb Downs floating in the secondary, they'll be fine on defense.
Trayvon
Good
Diggs
enough for
was so
them.
overrated.
Yeah, but he did have a year where he had double digit interceptions, so I got to
And that
respect
was all
that.
that he did. he
That's
was
hard to do
he
though.
was also targeted as he was one of the most targeted guys in the league that year as well. And also I believe that the rate to which receivers were able to complete when he was targeting or the amount of pass interferences that he would get and everything also one of the I need to look up the exact stat, but one of those led the league as well. We all got caught up on the fact that he had I think it was 11 interceptions or 12 interceptions. But that's like Miles Turner in the NBA hitting like seven threes in a game for a center, but then he's got four rebounds. Like dog. And that's I don't know, that's just how I felt about Trayvon Diggs. I've always kind of thought he was a little bit overrated, but so be
So
it, I
Keenan
guess.
Allen, is he the number one receiver in Indy now?
No, it's still Alec Pierce. So he'll be the number two. He'll be the number two for sure. But they paid all that money to Alec Pierce. He needs to start getting a little bit more targets, and that's one of the reasons why they got rid of Pittman in the first place is because they want to make that the plan. So Pierce will be number one, Allen would be number two, Josh Downs would be number three, and honestly, Downs and Allen may be switching back and forth between two and three. Allen got used to playing wide receiver three last year, even when he was playing with McConkey and Quentin Johnson. So I don't think he has a problem doing that either.
Right, exactly. And they're going to be a run first offense with Jonathan Taylor. So
Exactly. I mean, you got a
everything's going
running
to
back
fall
like
flat.
JT. It's like they're all gonna get open. So that's one of the reasons I haven't stressed too much about them not having great receivers, is because and also Tyler Warren being there. I mean,
Exactly.
if we're being honest, Tyler Warren's gonna be the number one target for Indy this year.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I just don't like Daniel Jones as a starter. And be real with you, I know he started off
I hear
well
that.
last year, but when he started playing real teams, he went back to the New York Giant. Daniel Jones
So
starting off with the
disagree with
Detroit,
that.
the Pittsburgh
That's okay.
Steelers.
It was half a season. It was against the Steelers that he struggled for sure. It was the one
Yeah,
game. The next game against the Falcons, he played well, and then it was the game
Falcons were
after
trash.
that or the game one game later that he tore his Achilles. It didn't really matter who he was playing. He was still putting up the numbers. You can't control the schedule. He was putting
Yeah,
up great
but you
numbers.
gotta have context. There's context to everything. When he played really good, when he played formidable defenses and good teams, he struggled. When he played bums, he did well. He's supposed to do well against bums.
We played the Rams defense last year and should have won if Adonai Mitchell didn't fumble the ball in the end zone.
The Rams defense last year wasn't all that. They were an offensive led team.
Okay, how about Denver?
How about the Steelers?
Hey, everybody can have bad games, all right? Everybody can have bad games. And you guys are the reason we didn't even make the playoffs last year because y'all wanted to break DeForest Buckner's neck.
Hey, DeForest Buckner, if you hear that, we did not break your neck. Please don't kill the Steelers this year. Okay, we know you're one of the most underrated defensive linemen in the NFL right now.
Don't worry, I got that Steelers game on my schedule. We might be watching that. We might be watching that together, Shep.
Oh yeah, for sure. Might go live. We
Might
might
even go live during it. Who knows? Who knows?
for sure.
Oh, like we said earlier, the NFL is obviously underway. We got a full weekend of preseason football. Shep, what did you take away from this weekend?
Like I said earlier, Jeremy Bernard looked really good in his time. He played in the first half for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a guy drafted out of Alabama. He showed some promise. One thing I take from the preseason is that, you got the guys who's going to be starters, okay? Those guys typically aren't going to play the first game. If you see somebody eating in that position, 9 times out of 10, they probably aren't going to see the field if the starter wasn't out there with them, because the starter will be out there taking that role. I saw a guy like Jeremy Bernard going in the slot and eat. What are the Steelers missing? A guy that can kill in the slot. So I think he'll be able to get in there and make an impact early in stadium when it comes to the regular season. I seen him win one-on-one. I saw him break tackles in open field. So he was very impressive to me. He didn't quite get in the end zone. I think he almost got in the end zone. Mason Rudolph was like fumbling over his feet, almost got sacked. He threw it. The guy pushed him out the back of the end zone. But I think he had almost 70. No, I'm sorry. He had 56 yards receiving, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was somewhere around there.
It was 4 catches, like 54 yards or something. He looked really good. And like I said, that's a position where the Steelers are in need of, a number 3. So he showed he could do that quite well with backup quarterbacks.
And I feel that too. That makes sense a lot for Jeremy Bernard. I think he looked really, really good too. One thing about the preseason is a lot of these guys that are getting an opportunity to play, they need to make the most of their time because they know that they're not going to get a lot of the game. And that's exactly what I think he did. He made the most of his time. He showed everybody why he should be considered a possible number 3 guy in Pittsburgh. And I think he could get that position. And like we were talking about earlier, he could benefit that Steelers team quite a bit because of that. I definitely agree with that. One guy that caught my eye was actually the guy that won the national championship last year. We're talking about Fernando Mendoza, obviously taking his first snaps in his pro debut, and he looked good, man. He obviously it's what you see from a rookie, what you kind of expect from a rookie. You expect him to not be perfect, and that's kind of what I saw. Like, he was good, he showed promise. Where I saw his flaws, I do think that's something that he could work on. He was a very accurate passer. Some of the passes that he was making were absolutely incredible, if we're being honest. He was, putting the ball on a dime through 3 different defenders a few different times. So he was 10 of 16 passing, 97 yards and a touchdown. I think he's the first number 1 overall quarterback to throw a touchdown in I think it was something crazy like 10 years or something, or in their first preseason game. That's what it was. Yeah. So, I mean, that's promising already. He obviously has some things that he needs to get a little bit better on. He was a little bit jumpy. There was one play specifically. He was throwing the ball to Tompkins, I think his name is, the wide receiver, one of the, backup wide receivers over there. But it was a wide open touchdown pass for his second touchdown, and he just overthrew him, essentially. Just little things like that he can work on. But if he keeps developing this way and has the mindset that he has, I think he could be the starter in Las Vegas by halfway through the season.
Wow. Because you know who else looked good? Kirk Cousins. He looked very good with
that is true.
So I'm interested to see that dynamic because Kirk Cousins is not a slouch. I think as long as Kirk Cousins can stay healthy, Fernando will be sitting this year.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is just because I think Fernando still has to work on certain things. And like I told you, I'm usually for guys playing early. But if you have a capable guy like Kirk Cousins, why rush it? We saw a guy like Alex Smith when Patrick Mahomes was there. They still made the playoffs. Mahomes was able to sit a little bit, learn. His second year, won MVP. We saw a guy like Jordan Love sit behind Aaron Rodgers for multiple years. Everybody's like, man, when is this guy going to play? We spent the first round pick on him. 3 years later, they see why he sat. He learned a lot of great knowledge from Aaron Rodgers. So I don't see a problem with sitting behind a guy like Kirk.
So the thing with that though is that I don't consider Kirk Cousins' level to be of that of Alex Smith when Patrick Mahomes was sitting behind him, and definitely not like Jordan Love sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, if we're being honest.
Respectfully, Alex Smith is respectfully, bro. Respectfully, Kirk Cousins is better than Alex Smith. His career's better, 100%.
I think I think Alex Smith at his best is better than Kirk Cousins at his best.
You gotta go pull the numbers, bro.
I
I
think
don't know the numbers off the top of my head.
multiple times what I saw from Alex Smith, just the way he moves in the game in both San Francisco and again with the Chiefs. I don't think necessarily that Kirk
You think Kirk
Cousins
Cousins
there.
got all this money for being bad, for being not better than Alex Smith?
No, but I know that Alex Smith was never really bad.
There were some years where,
But Kirk Cousins has gotten benched on two different teams now.
yeah, because he came off of an injury.
So did Alex Smith, and he came out better
When?
when he got injured in San Francisco and then came to Kansas City.
No, he was better in San Francisco. That's cap, bro. I'm
Okay,
calling cap.
maybe that was a little bit of a stretch, but he was still taking the Chiefs to the playoffs.
Yeah, he was.
Kirk
We don't
Cousins wasn't
respect-
doing that in Atlanta,
Yeah,
and
that's
he
true.
had guys like Bijan Robinson, the best running back in the league,
Yeah,
and he had Drake London, not a scrub, Kyle Pitts, not a scrub. Like he had guys. As far as I remember, the Falcons' defense wasn't even that bad, so that leaves it on the offense. No, for sure.
Yeah, like I can't say they were top 5 or 10.
No, for sure. But middle of the league isn't bad as long as the offense is performing.
Something you're not paying attention to is the freaking Kansas City Chiefs has Andy Reid. That makes all the difference.
Okay. I'll give you on that one.
Calling, offensive scheme. He kills everything that Kirk Cousins has ever had.
Yeah, okay. I gotcha. I'll give that to you. That's fine. If anything, I would say Alex Smith and Kirk Cousins are comparable, but definitely not Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Definitely not Aaron Rodgers. But I guess I'll go to another rookie that I did like watching, and that was we obviously saw the Cardinals play one game where he didn't play, but the next game, Jeremiah Love, I thought, dude, he looked amazing. The dude was giving me glimpses of Adrian Peterson. Like the way he was moving with the ball, how elusive that he is. First I was worried because of the Cardinals offensive line, but I don't think that matters anymore because he's proven that he's a guy that can get something done and make something happen even if he's not getting the help around him. And that's exactly what the Cardinals needed for all those haters that were saying, why did you take him when he's not going to have, an offensive line? He's going to struggle. He is night and day better than Genty. I'm gonna say that right. He is much better than Genty. He's gonna put up really good numbers this year. And I know we just had a conversation about Jadarian Price and him. After seeing him now, I haven't seen Price yet, but after seeing him now, it's a little bit tougher to make that conversation. And again, it's the preseason, so we'll just have to see. But he looked really good, and I am so sad that he got a high ankle sprain and we won't see him again until hopefully week 1. Hopefully he's back, but
I think they're going to be real cautious with that high ankle sprain.
I agree.
I could see him sitting out that first week.
He could.
They have a capable guy there. They have Tyler Algier just signed there this year, who was a capable backup in Atlanta.
Do they still have James Conner too?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's coming off of an injury.
Mhm.
So they have guys that can complete what he's doing. They're not Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
They're capable. They're starters in the NFL. So I think they'll sit him as long as he needs. But I agree with you. He looks shifty back there.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
You watch certain guys in the backfield that they just move differently. He's one of those guys.
100%.
So he gave me like Saquon when he first came out.
And I feel that too. Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously Saquon at his best, you're talking one of the best backs. So
Exactly.
he's going to be up there, man. I'm excited to see it.
I just hopefully they invest into their offensive line to really showcase what he's about. because
Yeah,
as bad as offensive lines are, he can make them look better, but injuries will occur if they're going to uh, be as bad as what they are.
absolutely. Yeah,
So,
I'm hoping this high ankle sprain is just a fluke and that it's not going to be something that kind of follows him throughout his career because I've seen that just kind of offset a lot of really guys with a lot of potential their careers
yeah,
just very quickly.
100%. Another rookie that I liked this week, I liked what Ty Simpson did. I was watching his completions again because I watched part of the game, but I had to get off of it. I was doing something at the house, and I just rewatched his film. He didn't wow me with the throws he was making. A lot of them were check downs, flat throws to the tight ends, check downs to running backs, whatever. But what rookie quarterbacks try to do early on is they try to impress too quick. And I think he took the easy things, and his stats show for it. I think he only had 4 incompletions.
He did. He had 4 incompletions. He had 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. And
Yes, very efficient.
I 100% agree with you. I actually think that he had the best outing of any rookie. Granted, he was playing against third stringers, so he's still got to prove it that he can do it against second stringers and then ultimately starters. But what I was so impressed with was how comfortable he looked being in an NFL jersey. That's one of the biggest things for these guys coming in is they just don't look comfortable and they're like you said trying to impress too early. He was not doing that. He was like what needs to be done in order to essentially win this game, advance us to the next set of downs. Like that's all he was doing. And it
100%.
paid off for sure. It paid off for sure. I was not necessarily a Ty Simpson believer, but I really want to see what that kid can do.
I mean, I watched him a lot at Alabama. He can make every throw. I'll
Hmm.
be honest with you. He has a good enough arm. He's very accurate. His athleticism is underrated as well.
I agree with
You
that.
saw in that game with the Rams, they did a lot of boot action with him, get him out of the pocket, get him running. He looked accurate throwing on the run.
And
So
that's
I'm
something they'll be
excited
able
with
to
things
gain
that we're seeing.
without like that Matthew Stafford can't offer right now. Is that if they have to move on from Stafford in a couple years, because I think what Stafford's contract is through next season or the year after.
I think he has 2 more full years, so this and
So this
next.
and next year. Yeah, if
Yeah,
Ty Simpson has to sit under a Matthew Stafford, that is the type of situation I would consider way more than Mendoza under Kirk Cousins. We're talking Ty Simpson sitting under Matthew Stafford for a couple of years. That is what I would consider like a Mahomes under Alex Smith type of situation, or like a Jordan Love under Aaron Rodgers type of situation in order to come in
I'm
there
not
and
gonna
ball
let you
out.
do, bro. Did you just compare? Hold on, let me make sure I'm hearing this right. You said Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes compared to Matthew Stafford and Ty Simpson. That's
No,
not a
I was
comparison.
just talking about what you were comparing before. All right, let's just throw the Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes thing just away. We're just gonna talk about that. If we're talking about Jordan Love sitting under Aaron Rodgers,
Sure. Okay, we can do that.
that's kind of how I would say that's gonna
Yeah.
look with Ty Simpson. Yeah,
And they
absolutely.
have a great developer at head coach in McVay. That
Hmm.
matters too. So
Exactly.
he'll be fine. He'll be pretty good. Like I said, I don't know if everything was showed in the preseason game, so I'm not really looking at him dicing up defenses because I know McVay isn't putting out his best offensive plays right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I know we've talked a lot about the good too, so I did just want to bring up the bad real quick too. Carnell Tate and Cam Ward, their connection. I know a lot of people are going to be watching that this year. I will say, I think Cam Ward went 5 of 12 in the game for 50 something yards, something like that. He did not connect with Tate one time. I I do not blame Tate. I think Tate did exactly what he was supposed to do, even though he went 0 for 3. I think that Ward coming into his second season, I expected him to be much more accurate than he was. He had the 3 incompletions from Tate. There was two just inaccurate throws from Cam Ward, and then one that the corner from San Francisco actually just had great coverage on. So that's neither of their fault necessarily. It was just really really good coverage, but they're definitely going to have to work through these kinks for sure. Especially, I mean, I know a lot of fantasy fans. You're hoping that Tate can be something good. You're hoping that Cam Ward can be a good backup quarterback or something like that. For the Titans fans in general, anybody watching the Titans, they need to have that connection or else they're not going to be successful this year.
That's going to set them back a whole another 5 to 10 years. They take them in the top five.
Exactly.
So they get a
Exactly.
chance to prove it. I don't have like a big loser because I don't take preseason for real. I think some guys look good some weeks, some look bad others. As far as a loser though, I was sad to see Jordan Tyson went down with a hammy for 2 months. I was really looking forward to seeing that duo with him and Chris Olave. I know fantasy owners are sick right now. This is why you don't draft fantasy football before September.
Till the week before, bro.
Exactly.
You and now they give you 2 or a week and a half or 2 full weeks before, like after the last preseason game. Don't draft until then. Please don't draft.
From Game Break Sports, do not draft in August. Okay. I know we're all excited. We see the preseason started. We think we need to get the guys together to make picks. Just wait. It'll just a few more weeks.
And also, just something else. Be nicer to your commissioners because they're the ones making the drafts in August because y'all are giving them heat because y'all want to get greedy and y'all are like, I want to get those players now. No.
Out of all of the rookies, I thought he was going to be the most impressive just off of what I saw in training camp. He moved different. Another guy that moved differently.
Yeah.
That duo would have been scary in New Orleans. But Chris Olave, it's your time to step up. Fantasy owners, Chris Olave may enter top 10 category.
It's still going to be scary too. I mean, we're still just under a month away from the football season, so we're talking 4 to 5 weeks of the regular season until those two are paired up again. It's not going to be crazy far into the regular season until we get to see them. Okay. And now, since we were talking about fantasy, I will just say my advice to any fantasy owner is if you can get Jordan Tyson way far in the draft as just a guy just to hold on to, I'm saying take him because he could be like a situation. First of all, I'm not comparing him to CD and George Pickens, but that's the type of level that I think that he could be as far as them splitting those receptions and getting good fantasy points out of it. I am not comparing Jordan Tyson to George Pickens. I know someone's going to try to clip that and try to make me look like I'm comparing the two. That is not the case, but I think that he could get good fantasy points.
I agree.
All right, cool.
Other than that, I know we wanted to discuss some NBA action. We saw the schedule get released this past week with some marquee matchups. Obviously, opening night, everybody's going to take into their evening plans. So we saw the 76ers are going to play the Knicks. We saw the Spurs are going to play the Thunder. What's your thoughts on what the opening night looks like, or any game in general that was released this past week?
I'm very excited about opening night. I think this is going to be really good. This is obviously why they were potentially delaying the schedule release because we had to see where LeBron went. You're getting LeBron and Jaylen Brown's debut in Philly against the reigning champion New York Knicks. That is fantastic. And they're going to make Philly fans watch the Knicks raise their banner. That's diabolical, first of all. But then that's capped off by a Western Conference rematch as well in the Thunder and the Spurs, who seem to be unanimously the top two teams in the Western Conference moving forward for probably the next several years. So I think that they knocked it out of the park with what they want that opening night to be.
Yeah, to have that many stars, I think we discussed this a little earlier, just in person, but the freaking Sixers have 4 All-Stars, and the Knicks have 2 themselves with Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. So that's going to be star-studded. I know those tickets are hefty right now.
Absolutely. It's in Madison Square Garden, too.
Yeah,
like,
all the stars are going to be out.
Those are going to be almost just as expensive as a finals game ticket, man. Like, it's going to be there. Yeah, and Timothy Chalamet is going to be there. Ben Stiller is going to be there.
Tracy Moore going to be there. Spike Lee, all those guys.
Spike Lee 100% would not miss it. This is the last time before, he's gone that he's going to get to see the Knicks raise a banner because they ain't winning again in the next 20 years. I'll tell you that right now.
That's disrespectful, man. Hey, the Knicks fans are happy right now, man. Let them celebrate. They got all the way until October before the first regular season game?
I will never allow a Knicks fan to celebrate. I'll never let that happen. Every time a Knicks fan says anything about this, I'm going to say, yeah, you're lucky Tyrese wasn't there to knock you out, huh? Anyway, we can get onto that later. That's fine.
For sure. Because this is not supposed to be a Pacers conference. Speaking of the Pacers, a little clip of Tyrese Halliburton this past week talk about the NBA opening schedule. What's your you wanted to talk about that a little bit too, right?
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton just had a couple things to say. Obviously, the schedule released. He found out that the first game for the Pacers is going to be at New Orleans Pelicans, not on primetime TV. In his first game back after tearing his Achilles in Game 7 of one of the most memorable Game 7 NBA Finals games we've seen in a long time. Just take a look at this clip real quick.
Name any other person that you compare to my level of a basketball player, wherever you have me ranked. If they tore their Achilles and missed 16 months, do you think that game would be on national television?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably think so?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that game would be at home if not on national television?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that game would be at New Orleans?
Wait, what?
Oh, your first game? Oh, that's crazy.
No, that's crazy.
That's
bro.
crazy.
That's crazy.
When I saw schedule, I was like, oh, wow. Not shout out Trey Murphy. Love my boy Trey. Love New Orleans, but I was shocked to see that.
Yeah.
Now, if you're asking me, he makes a lot of sense. Why wouldn't he be on primetime? I see the primetime games they have for night 2, which this is where he would have expected to be primetime. They're taking the Heat versus the Wolves over the Pacers playing because you've got LaMelo's new team and you've got and Giannis's new team. Thank you very much. And then they've got the Warriors and the Lakers because West Coast. I get it. It is what it is. But I do think it is a little disrespectful for somebody of Tyrese Halliburton's caliber to not be on a primetime game. And honestly, he didn't even need to be on a primetime game. He just wanted to be at home. He wanted to bring the Pacers fans some joy in that first game, and he wanted to be able to see their faces in the crowd while he did it. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
It all depends on what you consider Halliburton caliber to be. What do you think his caliber is?
A top 20 for sure, debatably top 15 player in the NBA.
Okay.
Tearing his Achilles in, again, one of the most memorable Game 7s that we've ever watched.
Yeah. I mean, the only problem is he plays for the Pacers. The Pacers are never going to be a market to host a primetime game.
They did last year.
I mean,
last year,
I'm just saying, like, they're not going to be open at night, or they're not going to be above Giannis or LaMelo Ball.
Their first game of the season last year was against the Thunder at home on the Thursday night on primetime.
Because they made the finals last year.
For sure, but
that won 16 games in the freaking primetime slot. Because I'm be honest with you, Halliburton isn't the superstar that you're thinking he is. Like
dude, he had the most clutch playoff run in NBA history.
I agree.
That led to his Achilles tearing, and then one season goes by and the entire NBA organization just completely forgets about that, and they're not going to make his comeback game something more memorable. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Is a star. He's not a superstar, and that's the issue.
God, you sound like Stephen A. Smith.
It's real, bro. It's facts.
Oh my
Halliburton
gosh.
He's a really good player, and I love his game. But
Tyrese Halliburton is a superstar. And he's a guy that people will pay money to go see because he makes entertaining stuff happen.
If you had a line, I could give you 10 other guys that if you had them in a line, they would take over Tyrese Halliburton. And that's the issue when you got primetime slots, because there's only so many.
I agree with that, but I also think that there's a lot of people that don't know ball. I was being very unbiased when I said 20 and top 15 because personally I would have him in my top 10 because of what he means to a team.
Bro,
but that's just me. That's just me. You told me straight up
who would 10 right now. I'm gonna give you 10 right now. He's not better than Shea. He's not better than Wemby. He's not better than Jokic. That's 3, right?
Okay, keep going.
He's not better than Tatum.
Okay, keep going. Okay. Keep going.
Wait, what? What were you about to say? You're taking Tyrese Halliburton over Jason Tatum.
If you give me Tyrese Halliburton and you give me Jason Tatum in a redraft, I am not taking Jason Tatum.
Hey, babe, you got that thermometer in there? I think he's sick right now.
I'm not sick. This is the most clearly bro, I'm off energy drinks. I'm just drinking straight coffee right now. I'm telling you, I am the most locked in I've ever been. And you give me Tyrese Halliburton and you give me Jason Tatum, and I'm taking Tyrese Halliburton.
Oh my gosh, you're tripping. Jaylen Brown. He's not better than Jaylen Brown.
That I'll give you.
Is he better than Giannis? There's nothing to think about. Bro.
As a sole player, no. But what he actually means for a team, I feel like Tyrese has something to offer there. Again, he's the best passing point guard in the NBA.
Bro.
So he makes the
I'm
people
telling you right
around
now,
him better.
The Pacers organization would trade Halliburton and the second best player for Giannis.
You do not understand the loyalty the Pacers organization has.
And that's why the Pacers hasn't won the championship, because they're trash. Okay. My fault, bro. I should have said that. My fault, bro.
You just freaking wait, bro. I got receipts. I'm keeping my receipts, baby. Let's wait until this postseason. I'm going to tell you, I will take almost every single team in the league that the Pacers will beat them in a 7-game series. 7 games with Rick Carlisle at head coach and Tyrese Halliburton leading the way. If he comes back even close to as good as he was before, no one in the league will beat the Pacers in a 7-game series. I'm not even saying the Spurs will.
Bro, you gonna have people.
I don't even got to talk about the Knicks because we already beat the Knicks in 7-game series 2 years in a row. So it does not matter.
You don't got to talk about the Knicks because they're not going back. They're not beating the 76ers in a 7-game series.
Yes, they are. The Indiana Pacers are going to beat the Indiana Pacers this year in the Eastern Conference Finals will beat the Philadelphia 76ers in 6 games. In 6 games, bro.
You don't even believe that, bro.
I believe it so much right now. The one thing you cannot second guess me on is the amount of faith I have in the Indiana Pacers every single year. And I truly think Tyrese Halliburton is that good, makes players that much better. And also I'm going to say Rick Carlisle is one of the most underrated coaches in the NBA. He's phenomenal. The adjustments that he makes are some of the best that I've ever seen. Ever. There's no way that I'll take another team in a 7-game series other than the Pacers ever again. The Thunder were supposed to be unbeatable, and the Pacers were a half away from, and a Tyrese Halliburton Achilles tear away from beating them.
Bro, you got to think that was the Thunder first time going to the finals.
Doesn't matter.
Nobody thought they were unbeatable. They hadn't even done it yet.
Nobody. I could give you clip on clip on clip of people saying that they thought that Thunder team was unbeatable.
Didn't they almost lose the Western Conference Finals?
No, they beat the Timberwolves in 5.
No, it was the round before that. Who did they play?
They played the Nuggets with Jokic and Jamal and Aaron Gordon, and that one did go 7. But what did they do in Game 7? They won by 40.
Yeah, they had a great game, but what I'm telling you is that team was beatable. They beat them 3 times.
No.
The same amount as your Pacers. You got all of this confidence in the world.
No. It's okay. Anyways, speaking of the Pacers, we're on a timeline. I gotta get to the next thing before I get too heated. We'll have plenty of time to talk about the Pacers. I cannot freaking wait till the NBA season, bro. All right. Anyway, Group B in the East of the NBA Cup, bro. This thing is loaded. For those of you that don't know much about the NBA Cup, because it is rather new, we're just moving into the 3rd season about it. Basically, it's similar to like group stages like in FIFA. You're going to have games that you play throughout the regular season. You're going to earn points throughout those games, and then certain people are going to move on into a playoff scenario. My Pacers were actually in it against the Lakers 2 years ago. It actually had the Spurs and the Knicks in a finals like preview pretty much last year, and the Knicks won both things. Yeah, the Knicks won both. The Knicks won the NBA Cup and the finals. But Group B this year is absolutely insane. We've got the Knicks, the Cavs, the 76ers, the Heat, and the Pacers. There is not a lousy game in any of those. Like, no matter who's playing each other, they're going to be fire. These teams have the first, second, fifth, sixth, and 8th best odds to win the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. I've never seen them have a group like this before. Usually there is a lot of other You know, like
Balanced out.
exactly. Yeah, that way, you get the best teams in there, but they got a lot of the best teams in this group. So I'm excited to see what that has in store.
The only other thing that I liked about the NBA schedule release is the Christmas games. Obviously, they have games in between that'll be good, but the Christmas game, that lineup is crazy.
Yeah.
Only thing is, the NFL is trying to take over Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Like so I think on Christmas we got the 76ers and the Lakers. LeBron will go back to LA. We have the Thunder and the Nuggets plays on Christmas. That is a great rivalry. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Thunder and the Nuggets is going to be a great game. I think I'm trying to think. There's one more on there that I can't. That's missing my mind right now. That was also a really good game. I'm just missing it right now. But the Christmas Day lineup is always heat in the NBA. So
It always is. There's always 5 games starting at noon, ending all the way at the ending at like midnight. I said, well, yeah. Like the last game is ending at midnight, essentially. Like it's what you know that you can count on every year to watch from morning till night.
for sure. And like I said, the NFL is starting to mix in there. I think the Bills play the Broncos that day. The Rams play the Seahawks. So it's just like I'm gonna be in the back. Okay, if you need to see Shep, you're gonna have to come get me from the back. Cause I'm watching every game.
He said, "Hey, yo, son, we'll open your gifts real quick, and then I'm out." I'm gonna let my girls know we gotta open Christmas gifts quicker because we got games to watch starting at noon.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
to me, I feel like the NBA holds something special to my heart on Christmas Day. There wasn't always NFL games, and I'll always take the NBA first over the NFL on Christmas Day specifically in that time,
Sure.
unless the Colts are playing, because God forbid the Pacers get a Christmas Day game. But
You know,
uh,
dang well nobody in Indiana getting a Christmas game.
I know. The Colts got a Christmas game. The Colts got a Christmas game a couple years ago against the Cardinals. I remember that game pretty vividly. But
Why
the
heck was that a Christmas game?
I don't know. They were just getting started, so they were like, "Hey, if it's football, maybe we can just take a little bit of the viewership from the NBA." They were like, "I don't care who the teams are."
If the NFL really wanted to, they could take Christmas because they could schedule all of the great games on Christmas.
Which is disappointing to me.
Yeah, it sucks, but they have so much control. They're a way better ran organization than the NBA.
Well, the NBA just doesn't have as much viewership. Football is just a more popular sport in
In this
America,
country.
which is
Yeah.
fine. NBA is right below it, so I'm not like I don't know. It's
I love the
interesting
NBA, though.
situation. I do too. And that's why I loved Christmas because like NFL, you've got Thanksgiving. Leave
Yeah,
Christmas
leave it
alone.
alone.
Jesus
And Black
Christ.
Friday.
You-
Oh my gosh.
You got Thanksgiving, you got Black Friday, you got Christmas Eve. Like, bro, chill. My God.
The NFL they're greedy, bro. But it makes sense. Like
They're greedy. They need
more
money.
money. Yeah.
Roger Goodell. Damn you, bro.
Relax.
Adam Silver, you got to do something, man.
He playing all his cards, bro.
All right, so next we're going to be kind of talking some fantasy football. It's something we do from time to time on this channel for sure and on this podcast. If you guys don't know that we do have a couple channels and we do go live occasionally kind of talking about fantasy football. Get quite a bit of people in there, but we are going to start taking some of those comments that people do send to our DMs and we're going to throw them into here and answer them live on the podcast. So a couple of the questions, I got 3 questions this week that we're going to be covering. The first one, it's going to pop up here. It's going to be by Frankie Duran. He was wondering thoughts on Malik Neighbors in fantasy this year.
Yeah, I love Malik Neighbors. He's one of those guys that could do everything. I am worried about him though. He's coming off of an ACL tear. Not even 2 months ago, he had a brace on his knee. I saw on different videos. So he's looking good. I saw him at training camp doing cuts in and out of his brace. He's looking smooth, but it's nothing like being in stadium. I'm still worried about that. I know he just had consecutive practices, I believe, this week. So coming in off of an ACL injury, that's going to be rough for him as a wide receiver. And plus, I just don't trust Jackson Dirk quite yet for his production to be there. He's going to get fed the ball a lot, but I think they're going to be a run first team. They got Cam Scatterboo. They just signed Najee Harris. today as well. So he'll be in the rotation. Devin Singletary, Tyrone Tracy. They have running backs galore. So I think that's what they are going to start with. And then Malik Neighbors will be able to, heal up during the season, but that's not a good sign for fantasy. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I do agree with that a lot. I do not trust him necessarily for fantasy this year. I think I have him in my rankings around the middle of the pack because we all know that if he comes back healthy and he comes back as good as he can be top 5, top 6 as a wide receiver. We've seen it before. People were putting him at top 3 probably at the beginning of last year, which maybe he was, but I have not heard a lot of good things from his camp. And with that being all that we know, it's really risky to take him early on. If he's still available, round 4 or 5, that might be where I end up taking him as like a wide receiver 2 or possibly a flex spot. But there's no way I'm taking him as a wide receiver 1 this year. It's just way, way too risky.
I think you'll be lucky to get him as a flex, but a wide receiver.
I agree.
Perfect.
I agree. Absolutely. So the next one's coming in. It's Dash.210. He's asking CMC or Puka in fantasy this year.
That's a great question. Let's start off there. Dang. I'm going CMC. I think CMC is going to get more touches, and that alone, I think he had over. We were talking about running backs and receiving last episode. I think he had close to 100 receptions last year, maybe even over.
Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, he's a PPR beast. I think somebody commented that he averaged, it depends on what league you're in, but he definitely averaged over 20 points per game in fantasy last year.
I think 25. So,
yeah.
I'm going with him. The 49ers are going to lean heavily on him, as they always have. He's a vital piece of that offense. Puka Nacua is not bad, though. If he falls in your lap, go ahead and take it. But if I had the choice between the two, I'm always going to pick the running back over the receiver because there's just so many good receivers.
And that's normally what I say, too. In this instance, I guess just to play devil's advocate even, I'll take Puka. And the reason being is in the last 3 seasons, he's had 4,000 yards, and that's including a season where he only played 11 games. He's had over 100 receptions on average in every single season as well. The dude eats no matter what, and he's going to continue to do that. The problem with this is that there is rumors going around on if he's going to get suspended or not. And if he gets suspended, that is going to be a tough start to the season with relying on Puka. But on the other side of things, too, McCaffrey obviously has a very, very wide injury history. So you're taking risks on both sides there. They're both 2 of the most talented players in their positions, but both of them have a possibility of not playing because of one thing or another. Really, really tough one. I usually lean towards the running back, but in this instance, because of what I've seen out of Puka the last 3 years, I'll go with Puka.
I love Puka. I think he's a great pickup. I just worry they have so many mouths to feed in LA. With Devontae Adams, I think he had 14 receiving touchdowns. Imagine if even like a quarter of those went to Puka.
Exactly.
Like what his numbers will look like. So that's another reason why I'm going with the Niners or with CMC is just because the Niners are lacking weapons right now with injuries to Mike Evans.
And that's fair.
So,
yeah. The last question is coming in. It's from Stimmy Check. And he's asking, is CD at 105 crazy?
100%. That's wild. Yeah.
It's so crazy.
That's way too early for CD's great, and this is no shot at CD. He's a wide receiver 1. But there's like 4 wide receiver 1s I would take before that. This is not even
100%
running backs.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's wild. I'm not picking CD until probably late single digits, more likely double digits.
Interesting. Okay, I gotcha. I can understand that. I'm just thinking with the way drafts should go in my head, especially in the PPR league, the first 3 picks should 100% be Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jamar Chase in whatever order that you want to take them.
Exactly. Yep.
So that means at 5th, you're going to have at least 4 of these guys available. being Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Devon Achan. And then you're going to have guys like Justin Jefferson, Puka Nakua, JSN, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all these guys that I would take over CD Lamb for consistency basis.
And he's playing with another guy that's going to be top 10 receiver.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to get anybody scared about taking either of these guys because I know people will. Don't be scared to take them. They're still going to eat. But the problem is there's so many other guys that are just going to put up better numbers, and they always do. CD's not going to end up in the top 5 in wide receivers this year because he plays with George Pickens, but I could see them both ending in the top 10. So,
yeah, I love CD. I think he will still be a top 10 wide receiver. So, depending on where you're at in the draft, I would take him at 1.5, maybe 1.8 or 9. I'd probably get him in there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that was the last question for today. So we're going to be going live once, twice, 3 times a week. Just kind of depends on, how we're feeling, the way the schedule works out. We are busy guys. So, but make sure that you follow us on TikTok. That way you can join those lives. If you want to go ahead and hit us with a subscribe to us, follow us, and then go ahead and send a DM to us. And we may pick your question to be thrown on the next podcast. Absolutely. But as far as this goes, definitely hit us with the subscription, like the video, push us out there. I mean, we are an individual or a duo podcast, essentially, that relies on you guys to kind of push us out a little bit. We really enjoy it. This is the 5th one in, and we're still just getting started with this. And I really, really appreciate all the love that we've gotten so far. Shep, how you feeling?
Yeah, man, this has been a lot of fun. I've been having fun interacting with the different people in our comment sections between TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So, like you said, just make sure you follow or subscribe to our channel. We have a lot of great content coming in. We haven't even gotten to the seasons yet, and this stuff has still been fun. So, we appreciate you guys for watching us again. As always, like Luke said, just make sure you guys tune in to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Take care. And we will see you next Thursday.